Hey guys. So today I've been learning the difference between deciding to do something and forcing yourself to do something, and that there is a difference between the two. And so the two situations at which I find that this happens to me is if there's a habit that I'm trying to break or a thing that I don't want to do. So whatever example you want to use, whether it be TV or eating bad or whatever, there's two options to approaching it. You have the first option that I think most people take, including myself, and I've always leaned on, is criticism. So, like, I shouldn't watch TV, and then I get really pissed at myself for doing so, and then I'm just like upset, and I decide that I need to cut it out, and so then I'm like, this is it once and for all, and I'll like unplug the TV or something, and then go on my day. And that's forcing yourself to stop or break a habit or do something. You're forcing yourself. Basically, you have a moment of clarity that's temporary and fleeting, and you choose to make a permanent decision in that fleeting moment with that fleeting feeling and assume that you're going to stick with that for the long run. And so you basically force shut yourself down. And typically, how that works is you're going against stream or against the current temporarily to unplug it, and then eventually you will end up just going right back with the current. And so the resistance will eventually go back up. You'll eventually plug back in your TV, and you'll eventually watch more TV again. But instead of going against the stream, which the stream being in this example is the wanting of watching TV, you go against it. You push back against your want of watching TV. You resist it. You unplug the TV. You stop watching it. You block the stream, right? Versus, in my opinion, the thing that seems to actually work in the long term is redirecting the stream into a more positive direction. And it's the difference between deciding or forcing yourself to do something. And so making the decision that you are okay with what you've been doing. Like, I'm okay that I watch TV, but I think that it is a better idea if I did this instead. And instead of it being like it's a bad feeling when you're resisting it and you're forcing yourself against it. It's like you're pulling yourself away from it versus deciding it should be like a warm feeling and a confident feeling. And so if you feel like you're pulling yourself away from something, there's a really large chance that it's not going to last because the only reason you were able to pull yourself away was because of a temporary feeling. But if you can redirect the stream and like consciously make a decision and confidently do so, with reason and logic that you actually feel, then typically it will change. And so I guess it's hard to put into actual words because it's more of a feeling based thing. But in both scenarios, you go from watching TV to no longer watching TV. But in one of them, there's a lot of negative feeling, resistance, negative self talk, and you're trying to just cut off TV completely. In the other one, you just simply don't really care for watching TV anymore and make a decision that like you just don't really want to and you want to do something else so that it's better use of your time. And typically the only way that you can make a decision like that is through when logic and emotion meet. And so if you can logically say this is a better idea and there's some sort of emotional weight behind that, it's hard to put into words, but I can feel a difference. Like it's like forcing yourself away from something or a habit that you know isn't going to last very long and you'll know you just go back to it versus deciding to change your life. It's like a one-time decision versus a permanent change. It's the best way I can explain it. But yeah, wherever possible, try and not have any negative self-talk and resist something because if that's the case, then you're probably not going to stop it. The only way you can stop it is if you're okay with it and decide that you just don't really want to do it anymore because of the difference between wanting and needing. And when you're resisting it or blocking off the stream or pulling yourself away from it, it's treating it as if it's a need and you need to do that, but you're stopping it because you there's no other possible way that you could stop yourself from doing it versus redirecting the stream is like a want is like I really want I want to do this but I don't really need it and I just don't think that it's a good idea anymore. And so really I guess at the core it's taking away all of the emotional weight and importance off of the good or bad thing that you're trying to change and changing it from a need into a want And the only reason why that changes emotional weight. Like you feel like you need something, but the reality is you probably just want it. So by removing that emotional weight, you're able to much easier redirect your life. So if you do something that you don't want to do, instead of getting all pissed off at yourself, just be okay with it. And then eventually you just be like, I just don't think this is a good idea anymore. Instead of like, oh, I need to stop doing this. It's terrible. I'm a terrible person. It's just not going to get you anywhere. Um, and so I don't know. It's just an interesting thought of the difference between forcing yourself to stop and choosing to stop or start, for that matter. But yeah, interesting thoughts for today. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow.